Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into South Africa's most pressing political stories, unpack the facts, and hold leaders to account. If you're passionate about justice, governance, and the future of our country, then make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments below. Today's episode covers one of the most powerful and sobering critiques of President Cyril Ramaphosa's leadership to date, a public condemnation from none other than former Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, the very man who chaired the State Capture Commission. His recent comments have stirred deep concerns about the integrity of our political leadership and whether South Africa is genuinely moving forward or slipping right back into the shadows of the very corruption it once vowed to eradicate. Let's take a closer look. In a recent public discussion in Pretoria on governance and accountability, Justice Zondo didn't hold back. He spoke openly about what he called one of the most difficult and painful moments of his professional life, presiding over the swearing-in of cabinet ministers who had been directly implicated in corruption, individuals that his own commission had recommended for prosecution or disciplinary action. For context, the State Capture Commission was established to investigate how private interests had systematically undermined public institutions in South Africa, particularly during Jacob Zuma's presidency. After 4 years, billions spent, and thousands of pages of findings, the Commission concluded its work in 2022 with a set of strong recommendations aimed at ending the cycle of corruption. Yet, just 2 years later, many of those same individuals named in the final report are back in powerful government positions, some even promoted. Zondo described this as nothing short of betrayal. A betrayal of the South African people, of the Constitution, and of the very essence of justice. He said, and I quote, "It was torture for me to stand there and swear in people who I knew had been recommended for prosecution by the very commission that I led." Those are not words you hear lightly from a man who has devoted his life to the law and to ethical governance. Zondo's remarks go far beyond personal frustration. They shine a spotlight on a much broader and systemic failure, the political unwillingness to act on the Commission's findings. For many South Africans, the report symbolized hope. It was proof that the truth could prevail, that wrongdoers would be held accountable, and that the country could heal from the damage inflicted by years of grand corruption. But what happens when the report is shelved? When the recommendations are ignored? When the very individuals implicated in wrongdoing are not only left untouched but are brought back into leadership? According to Zondo, this sends the worst possible message, both to South Africans and the world, that accountability is selective, and that justice can be negotiated. Civil society groups have echoed these concerns. Organizations like Corruption Watch and the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation have come out strongly in support of Zondo, calling for urgent parliamentary review into why so few of the Commission's recommendations have been implemented. Their message is clear: you cannot claim to fight corruption while empowering those who have allegedly enabled it. And it's not just civil society that's raising the alarm. Political analysts and legal experts have also questioned why President Ramaphosa, who campaigned on a platform of renewal and clean governance, has remained largely silent on the matter. Many point to internal factionalism within the ANC. With elections looming in 2026, Ramaphosa faces immense pressure to keep various political camps within the party satisfied. And that often means avoiding confrontation, even at the cost of public trust. But that silence is costly. Zondo reminded the public that when the commission was established, it wasn't just a legal process. It was a moral one. Citizens came forward, witnesses risked their lives, and whistleblowers suffered threats and intimidation, all in the hope that their sacrifice would lead to change. What does it say to those individuals when the end result is political protection for the powerful and punishment only for the weak? It also raises deeper questions about constitutional integrity. South Africa's constitution is widely regarded as one of the most progressive in the world. But it only works if its principles are upheld by those in power. If reports are buried, if evidence is ignored, and if political loyalty outweighs accountability, then the constitution becomes just another piece of paper. Zondo's public intervention has now placed even more pressure on the presidency. There are growing calls, both locally and internationally, for the Ramaphosa administration to take the state capture findings seriously, to initiate prosecutions, and to clean up the inner workings of government. Failure to do so, some say, could leave an open wound in South Africa's democratic project. Let's not forget what was exposed during the commission: state-owned enterprises looted, procurement processes rigged, ministers and officials bending the rules to serve private interests. Billions of rands stolen from public coffers while ordinary South Africans continue to suffer from poverty, unemployment, and failing services. Justice Zondo has done something incredibly rare in South African politics. He's spoken truth to power with clarity, integrity, and without fear. But what comes next? Will the president respond? Will Parliament take action? Or will South Africa continue to tolerate the recycling of compromised individuals into positions of authority? These are not abstract questions. They touch every South African's life, from the quality of education and healthcare to the reliability of electricity, transport, and water services. Corruption isn't just a moral issue. It's an economic and social crisis. Zondo's frustration reflects the frustration of millions who believe in the promise of democracy but are tired of seeing that promise delayed and denied. It's a reminder that fighting corruption isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing battle, one that requires courage, consistency, and above all, political will. So, what do you think? Is President Ramaphosa doing enough to uphold the Commission's findings? Should individuals implicated in state capture be allowed to serve in public office? And how can South Africans continue to hold their leaders accountable in the face of institutional resistance? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who care about the future of our country. By staying informed and engaged, we build the pressure that leads to real change. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay critical, and see you next time.